All right, so moving on to the big boy. The NFL Combine was this past weekend, and it was pretty eventful. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of players that outperformed and did really well. A lot of players who didn't do really well. Obviously, always a bunch of like trade rumors and stuff that goes on. But first off, before we go through like the winners and losers, I just want to say this class, like athletically, overall, is ridiculous.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah,
I've never seen
Top
so
to
many
bottom.
4-3s.
Top to bottom, you're seeing every position. There's freaks. It's unreal. I love
It's
I love this.
Yeah.
It's gonna make for an interesting draft season.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
like the fact that like if a skill position did not run a 4.3 40, like the fact that we were like, huh, like is just insane.
Yeah. All right, we'll start off with winners, Joel. We'll start off with you because I know you did some research and watched it.
This is my bread and butter, boys. I'm gonna say 2. And if the other one gets failed to be brought up, I will bring him up too. I know we've talked about this already. I'm a huge Luke Van Ness boy, and he proved out there. He proved out there in the combine that he is worthy of being in that range of potentially going top 10. I've been high on him since I started doing all the research and everything, and he lived up to that hype. He's just an athletic freak, and that there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And my other one, I would say, I'm going to go probably majority defense on this. Christian Gonzalez, with Witherspoon being out, not competing in the combine, just proved how much of that top level, the number one corner he can be. Christian Gonzalez is a freak. Watching his film, everything like that, he's it's awesome. There's no other way around it. I would say those are my top 2 that I would pick. There was another one I'd say, but I have a feeling either Evan or Zach's going to say him because it's kind of a given. I figured I'd go a little 2 guys that are a little bit not as high on some radars, but those are the 2 that I loved seeing the most from the combine. So,
Zach, do you want me to go?
I mean, I just got like, I can say 2 guys real quick. I didn't really watch much of the combine, so I can't really give too much input in on this. But I mean, obviously, I would say one, like my big one that just comes to mind immediately from what I saw was Denzel Washington. I think he boosted his stock, and I think he just kind of like showed out even like because like I mean everyone knew that he was a freak athlete, being like 6'8", 280 or whatever he is, and like hurdling people at Georgia and stuff. So everyone knew he was a freak, but just like seeing the specific numbers and seeing what he did at the combine was really impressive. I know I saw a clip of him making an egregious one-handed snag.
That one-hander was nuts.
Yeah, obviously he did great in the blocking drills, which is really good to see.
I was about to say you can't not bring up Washington.
Yeah.
And leave out that clip of him literally moving that thing 10 yards.
Yeah.
And then the guy literally right after him barely moved it 2 yards.
Yeah, well, and the fact, like I think at Georgia he was more of a blocking tight end at Georgia because they had block hours. So
that's what you're getting with Washington. You're essentially getting a 6th offensive lineman that has the ability to go out and be a receiving threat at the same time.
Yeah, because he's just that much of an athlete. So I think
insane.
I think he really showed out, and I think he had a great combine for sure. He was, I mean, it was just impressive. I mean, just seeing, like, just what a freak. I mean, like, it was just really pretty impressive to see that. I'm excited to see where he goes and what he does in the NFL, because I feel like he was honestly kind of not an afterthought, but he wasn't really a really big like tight end type of name in this year's draft, and because everybody like when at Georgia, it's always Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers is a stud. I mean, which he is, but like I kind of feel like Denzel Washington kind of flew under the radar, and I don't know why. I mean, the dude's a freak. So I would say him. And then, well, I guess I could say three. All three of mine are pretty obvious, though, I guess. I was going to say CJ Stroud. I think CJ Stroud just kind of showed up and had a great day. I think he didn't necessarily boost his stock or anything. I mean, the dude's going to probably go top 3 anyways, but I just think he just kind of proved to everybody, just kind of proved that he is probably the best quarterback in this class. I mean, I think he proved that after the Georgia playoff game. He played his heart out. He gave everything he could have to win that game.
Can I say something?
Sure.
He is definitely the most NFL ready at this point.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. And I think, I would almost even say he's the best. I mean, I don't really know what you mean best-wise, I guess. I mean, yeah, he's the most NFL ready, hands down. But I think he also could end up being the best quarterback in the NFL from this class. I think he could. Yeah.
Yeah. I get what you mean completely.
Yeah.
I personally would say I still think Bryce Young is the best quarterback in this class.
Yeah. I guess you can see why. I mean, it's really a toss-up between those two. It really is. I mean, it's like, I don't think Bryce Young really does anything like way better than Stroud does.
I feel like people have more comparison with him and his abilities with I've heard people say like Mahomes comparison type capabilities at times. So
I don't know. I mean, if we're talking strong arm, CJ Stroud had like a freaking 60-yard bomb at the combine. So he's got a good arm. I
love his accuracy for sure. He was
his accuracy is by far the best in the draft. And he's the most NFL ready quarterback, but I don't know if that was necessarily in question. I think he kind of just re-showed and just kind of re-proved himself, like what he proved from the Georgia playoff game. He just kind of
like if he was falling, he's proven like, no, I'm still here.
I think I personally, I don't really know if Bryce Young does anything that is like that much better than Stroud, like I said. So I think those two are both pretty even. But I think Stroud's most NFL ready, could end up being the best to come out of this class. He had a great day. And then, I don't know. I guess my third guy that I was thinking was just Bijan Robinson. I think he showed out. Once again, same as Stroud, just proved what everybody thought,
Yeah. He's a freak.
Yeah.
There's no he's probably the best running back prospect since Saquon.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
no doubt in my mind.
Yeah. So I went all offense there. So those were the 3 dudes that I thought just had a good combine.
Yeah. For me, I think one of the biggest risers, in my opinion, was, I don't know if I'm going to say this name correctly, but
Yep, I know who you're talking about.
Adetomowa Adebore, I don't know his name. The defense section of Northwest.
Yep.
6'2",
the pass
282, ran a 4.49 at 282 pounds with a 1.61 10-yard split, which is unreal from somebody at that size. Came up with a 37.5 vertical jump, 10.5 broad jump, and had 27 bench reps. Dude absolutely balled out. Completely, like, he raised his draft stock to like probably like a second round pick. Second, maybe third. I don't really know what his like draft stock
potentially
was
he'd look good.
Yeah, I didn't know his name until obviously the combine, but just for a guy at that size to run a 4.49 with a 1.61 split is unreal. And I think that was something that really like caught my eye. And another one that I think was a big winner was Jackson Smith-Njigba. I think he obviously had that hamstring injury, which took him out for the majority of this past season. And so he lost a little bit of hype on that like wide receiver 1 era, but clocked in at he didn't do the 40. He said he wasn't going to do the 40 for some reason. I forget exactly why, but clocked in with
hurt his hamstring again.
Probably. But he clocked in with a 3.93 20-yard shuttle and a 6.57 three cone, and he had the fastest 20-yard shuttle in the entire combine. And then even in the drills, I mean, you could see just a magnet when the ball comes to him. His route running is effortless, and he kind of showed everybody like I'm still like one of the best receivers in this class and like the most complete receiver. And I think that like the combine was big for him just because we hadn't seen him play in a little bit. Nobody ever really doubted his talent, but just it was good to see that he was still like right where he left off.
He's just like, crazy so smooth. Like it's just everything he does is just like it looks like he's not even trying.
Yeah. You know what's even crazier though with him? I've been seeing a ton of mock drafts with him not even in the first round.
Really?
That's awful.
Yeah.
I've seen some stuff.
I'm seeing guys like Quentin Johnston not even making it in the first round.
Okay, I don't know what you're looking at, but like that doesn't seem right at all.
Well, it depends on the need.
It's like
of
I've seen
like,
some where there's like no receivers or there's like 4 receivers.
Exactly, and that's like I'm seeing some where like Jordan Addison is like the top wide receiver off the board. Like, don't get me wrong, Jordan Addison's good. I like Jordan Addison too, but like it's like the Chargers are taking one. Like they need a speedster. They need a clear separator. They don't have. I mean, Mike Williams is your jump ball guy. Keenan Allen is your slot guy. Who do you have other than that?
Mm-hmm.
And you need like a speed threat. So I mean, like those guys, like a Hyatt was there. I've seen that.
I have seen Hyatt.
I do too. I have seen mocks where Smith-Njigba doesn't make it out. He doesn't go in the first round.
Yeah, which I don't get. But
I don't know either. Quentin Johnston too. I've seen that happen too.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna say. I mean, I think I agree with you though, 100% on him. Like it was good to see him kind of like just prove himself again. Not playing this whole year, I think that did hurt his stock. So I think him kind of getting this chance to prove himself a little bit because you had guys like Jalen Hyatt and Quentin Johnston. Johnston, yeah. You had, and Jordan Addison, those are 3 dudes that had
good. St. Flowers had put his name up there.
Yeah. So like those were 3 guys that had really good years. So I mean, it was good to see JSN get his name back in there and stuff. But I mean, honestly, I don't know if he's the clear cut wide receiver 1 of this class anymore.
Who?
JSN.
He never was.
It was beginning of the season.
Going into this year.
Okay, at the very beginning, but after, as the season progressed, it was Quentin Johnston.
I think he's hard to see for 2.
Well, yeah, because he didn't play this year. So that's what I'm saying.
Maybe 3, 2 or 3.
I mean, because I like Jalen Hyatt. I think Jalen Hyatt's good.
I don't think he's a top guy, though.
He's not the top guy. He scored 5 touchdowns against Alabama. I mean, he's good. He's fast.
Okay.
He might not be the top guy, but he's good.
He's good.
I mean, Quentin Johnston.
I think it was Quentin Johnston. It's been a consistently Quentin Johnston, Addison, and JSN.
Yeah, I would say those 3.
Depending on team need, though, too. So.
Yeah.
Also, I think.
Go ahead, Evan.
I was going to move on to another player. Do you guys have anything else to say?
No, go for it, man.
Okay. I was going to say, you can't really talk about the combine without bringing up Anthony Richardson's name. I mean, dude, balled out. 6'4", 244, ran a 4.43, which is I believe, combine record for quarterbacks. 1.53 10-yard, which is good. 40.5-inch vertical, also a combine record for quarterbacks. 10.9 broad jump. Dude
also a record.
Yeah, dude absolutely just broke every record in the combine.
And then his throwing looked effortless too.
Yeah, his throwing looked really good. He boosted his draft stock even more than he already was. He is now at plus 800 odds to be the number 1 overall pick. And I mean, he's getting comparisons to Cam Newton, Lamar Jackson. Like, people are saying that this guy's legit. And he obviously tested like that. I do think there's some worries just if you look at his film. His film isn't like super eye popping because he's obviously he's very raw, very very raw player, but
he
could
tends
potentially have
to
a really
always
big ceiling.
Yeah, he tends to always, like, if you look at his film from college,
Mhm.
he tends to look for that deep ball. He looks to get to that big play a lot.
Mhm.
And another thing with him, that offense, it was a heavy RPO offense,
Mhm.
which really doesn't he really didn't get to show exactly what all he had, I feel, in his that he was capable of. So
Yeah. There's definitely like other factors into it, but I still think like I think he solidified
Oh.
himself as like a top 5 guy as it stands
They-
right now.
Did you know like Florida drop rate this year was like,
Yeah, the receivers are horrible.
it was ungodly.
Yeah, they were terrible.
Yeah.
But something that I
was-
think is like kind of interesting is if quarterback doesn't work out for him, move him to tight end. I feel like he'd be a phenomenal tight end. 6'4", 244, 40-inch vertical, runs a 4.44. Like, that sounds like a good tight end to me.
Sounds
Yeah,
like a
I'd
great tight end.
like to try my quarterback though for sure.
Well, yeah, obviously would love to try my quarterback, but like he's an athlete. Like that's
Yeah.
like that's just he's an
He's-
he's an athletic
Yeah,
freak,
he is.
and so I mean, I think he's one of the biggest winners just because he just out tested everybody.
Yeah, I honestly forgot about him. He's been boosting his stock insanely over the past couple.
I was gonna say if neither of you two said it, I was gonna jump right on that train.
Yeah.
There's one guy I'd like to bring up yet.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think this one's a clear and obvious one. It's Nolan Smith.
Yeah, I was gonna bring him up, but I don't want to do 4 people. So
Nolan Smith, dude. Oh my gosh. How are you running a 40 that fast at that, just the way he's built?
The dude's an edge rusher. Like,
Yeah. You know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, that would be nice.
It's literally Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, whatever team gets him, that would really be great for them then. I honestly forgot about him too. Yeah, he had a
Dude's
really
a-
good combine. He's a freak.
He is a freak. And his vertical was 41.5.
And of course, he's a Georgia boy, right next to Jalen Carter, who stock actually dropped.
He's going. If there was any I know some people that have put him in the first round and they've like been getting some serious heat for it. After the combine, it's clear he's going to be a first rounder.
He'll probably even go top 15.
Potentially, depending on
the
and then Zach, going back to your point about Washington, I
Mhm.
think we can just be clear and obvious. The tight end class in general had a great day.
Yeah.
They had a phenomenal day.
Yeah,
'Cause there
including
was-
the tight end class.
It was unreal. It just showed how deep that the tight end class is this year. And one of them that I feel like a late round guy that we can bring up is the Old Dominion tight end, Zach Kuntz.
Oh yeah,
100% agree.
He
Balled
his
out.
everything, every single aspect of his combine
Mhm.
outperformed what we expected.
yeah. He
Ran
had
a 4.55, 1.57, 10-yard split, 40-inch vert, 10.8 broad jump, 6.87 3 cone, 4.1 20 yard shuttle, 23 bench reps. Like, just went absolutely nuts.
this is
I
just
think
an insane class, dude. Like what? Like
yeah,
since when is
and
a
then you
tight
have
end
like
now 4.5? Like
and then like obviously like Zach, you mentioned Darnell Washington did really well. Sam Laporta from Iowa did really well. Luke Musgrove obviously is one of the better tight ends. Like this,
I
tight
will
end
say-
class is
I
nasty.
will say there I was not impressed with one,
Who's that?
Michael Mayer.
I agree.
I feel like there was so much hype around Michael Mayer. And I feel like Dalton Kincaid made his case. I mean, I feel like I know he's got the back injury, but I feel like he is the top tight end.
So you think
And then
Nick Mayer just hurt his stock?
I think he's still a first round guy, but I
Mhm.
feel like he could have done more,
Yeah.
is what I mean.
I wasn't impressed. I was not as impressed with any of them as I was Darnell Washington, though. I mean, that dude is just a freak.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went nuts.
You know who hey, if he's there at 28, we're taking Brian Brzee.
I would be okay with that.
Clemson defensive interior. I love that guy. He's
Brian?
so good. He is so good.
Yeah, he's a beast.
4'8", 640 for a defensive interior.
That's impressive.
It's up there with Jordan Davis numbers.
Jordan Davis. Ooh.
Some other guys who I think like really
His
showed
10-yard
out.
split was 1.71.
Jeez, that's
Go ahead,
DJ
Evan.
Turner 4.2640,
Yep.
highest in the draft. I think
Yep.
Keely Ringo 4.3640, that helped him a lot.
He has potential to go first round now.
Yeah, 100%. Jamar
Easy.
Gibbs balled out. Obviously Seth Gonzalez, Jalen Hyatt ran a 4.4, which was good. Chase Brown. There, let's talk about the running back class. The running backs went nuts to this combine too. Chase Brown had a phenomenal day. Charbonnet from the UCLA did really
UCLA.
well.
Tajay Spears was solid too.
Yeah. Obviously Bijan's the big one. And even like what's his face? Keyshawn Vaughn, I think his name. Right?
Deuce Vaughn.
Deuce Vaughn, that's what I meant. Yeah, Deuce Vaughn had like a solid day too.
He was the shortest player ever listed in the combine.
Yeah, he was like 5'5".
5'5".
But yeah, I think this running back class is really good.
Oh, it's ungodly. This is the year. If you need a running back, go right for it.
You can get
Because
the Tulane guy in the third round probably. He's good.
hear me out. Bijan Robinson to the Eagles.
That would make the
They're
Eagles.
letting Miles Sanders walk.
Are they letting him walk for sure?
They're letting Miles Sanders walk.
Jeez.
Yeah, I saw last mock. I saw him not 10 to the Eagles.
That would be insane, dude.
That would be awesome.
I want him to fall to the Bengals.
I mean, I do
I don't
too.
think it's gonna happen.
And save money with getting rid of Nixon probably then.
Yeah,
I feel like that's I feel like that's the writing on the wall as is. So
like watching his
Yeah, it
tape.
would just make it even easier if they got a guy like Bijan.
Like watching his tape. His tape's phenomenal.
it is. It's unreal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I love it.
And I think he,
You know who?
the concerns of his like top end speed, he put those to bed running a 4.4.
You know who? I think I feel like we can. I know we're talking about the running back class and how good that is. On the opposite end of the spectrum, I feel like the safety class this year, not good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. The safeties
Brian-
definitely struggled.
Brian Branch is good. I love Brian Branch.
Mhm.
He didn't have a good combine though.
But he was also more. He is a very maneuverable guy, though. He can play your free safety. He can come down, be your slot corner. He can do all sorts of things. And I think he did a lot with corners anyway,
Mhm.
from what I heard and what I noticed. So, but yeah, I mean, other than him, I'm not really too high on a lot of the safeties this year.
It's fair.
Like last year, you had
Last year's safety
Lewis
class.
Dax Hill. like
yeah.
those
Last
guys,
year's safety
you had
class was good.
It was solid last year for sure.
Yeah. Well, now what about is DJ Turner? Is he a corner?
Yeah.
He's a corner.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Because
He's a corner.
he was fast as crap.
So that can take us right into our losers, I guess. Joel, was that one of your losers? Just like the safety class
I
as a
was
whole?
going to talk about the safety class being losers and
As a
just
whole.
piggyback off of earlier Michael Mayer. I I feel like, don't get me wrong, I still feel like he's a first round guy. I just feel like he didn't do a whole lot to boost his stock like he could have. But I feel like that's nitpicking. But
Yeah.
he was one of the guys I felt just didn't have that day that we were expecting.
Yeah.
And then safety class for me. Those were my top two takeaways of the losers, I would say.
Zach, do you have anybody?
No one really comes to mind immediately because, like I said, I didn't really watch much of it. I watched some of the receivers and quarterbacks, but other than that, I didn't really see too much. So I don't. Yeah,
That's
But,
okay.
I mean, I guess I would piggyback with Michael Mayer because I didn't really hear that he really
Your
did
undersized
impressive.
corners, like Clark Phillips III. He's another guy I would say kind of disappointed me because he's been a fringe, like a high day 2 pick, but he ran a 4.51 40. Like I was expecting a little more out of that, and his vertical was like 33, which was very low for the cornerback spot.
Yeah.
Especially,
For me, I think one of my losers kind of falls in the same realm of Michael Mayer. I think it was Jordan Addison. I still feel like he's one of the best receivers in the class and is hands down a first rounder, but testing wise, he didn't have the best day. He clocked in at 5'11", 173, but only ran a 4.49 at 173. Seems like something that you don't want at that size. And then only having a 34-inch vertical, ranked 43rd in combine score for wide receivers. So really, really kind of had a bad day, but I don't think it really hurts his stock that much. I mean, I think if you watch his tape, you see why people fall in love with this guy. But like combine wise, I don't think his stuff like wows you or anything.
Yeah, I mean the combine doesn't always really mean that much, though. Honestly,
Exactly.
I mean, if you watch their like film and you watch their tape and they're a stud on the football field, but their numbers aren't impressive, I mean, I'm still taking him. I don't really care how big or tall or fast he is. If he's a really good football player, that's really what you want, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And there's been times where people draft based on combine, and then those
And it
players
doesn't work out well because, like, I mean, John Ross is a prime example of that. The dude is blazing fast, but he's not really a great football player. So it's like, you know, you draft based on the combine, that can be scary.
Yeah.
And for me, someone who didn't really have a lot of hype, but you want to talk about bad combine is Keyshawn Boutte. I mean, dude just had a horrible combine. 4.5 40, 1.5 10-yard split, only a 29-inch vertical, 9.10 broad jump, 4-second, 20 shuttle, ranked 48th in the athleticism score for receivers. Like, just really didn't do anything to help his stock.
No, not at all.
More even like hurt it. So, and another guy was let me look real quick. Try to remember his name. Oh, Andre Carter, the guy for Army.
Oh yeah, for Nate. Yeah, Army. My bad.
Yeah.
Army.
He didn't do anything super crazy, and he was only the French first round. And then I think obviously losers like Jalen Carter to an extent.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that was the story. That was the story of the combine.
He was
he didn't test at all or anything, but obviously that arrest warrant is a big issue to potentially some teams, and it's not like the first time that people have kind of questioned his character. But I think even if he slips like pick 8 or something, like I don't think it's really that much of a deal. I mean, unless it like gets like real bad. But I mean, obviously, I kind of just an unfortunate situation for him because like he was going to be the clear number one.
Especially the one pick.
Yeah, kind of reminds you of like Laramie Tunsil and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
He still got taken pretty high though, I think, didn't he?
That's the thing with Jalen Carter. We don't know with this either. So like it wouldn't surprise me depending on what happens, like what all transpires. He could still be top 10, but I also have seen like stuff where he's not going in the top 10 at all. So he's still, if you're willing to take on the risk with everything, he's potentially the best player in the draft.
Yeah, if you're willing to take the
He's
risk
the top,
on the field stuff.
like all the way. I mean, he's still, they say, the most physically gifted and talented player in this draft. It's him and Will Anderson, 1-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just you got to
So-
deal with that crap off the field. I mean, the dude has a warrant out for his arrest. Like,
Yeah, but there's been multiple times that like teams have drafted players high, even though they have past like
Yeah.
behavioral issues.
yeah,
And then,
Well,
then
like Joe Mixon got drafted in the second round, and with everything he had.
yeah.
and then for the most part having like a clean like NFL career. So
Mhm.
Yeah. Exactly.
like I've heard stuff that like in the locker room, like Jen Carter's like a great guy, great teammate and everything.
Yeah.
Then you
Mhm.
have like other people saying other things, and obviously like this doesn't look good. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, honestly, I think that plays well for other teams. Then, I mean, if he's going to drop pretty far and falls to some of these teams that don't have as many holes and would be willing to take a shot on him, like, all right, whatever.
Yeah. Can we backtrack a little bit? I had a
Yeah.
guy that I left out on the guys I really liked. Broderick Jones, the Georgia tackle. I feel like there's been a big discussion on who can be that top tackle taken, the number one tackle in this draft. Skowronek, right? Skowronek.
Something like that.
Skowronek's a stud. He's very interchangeable. But Broderick Jones, did you see him send that coach flying?
Yeah.
And he had it was like 1.9. No, he had a really good split. His 40 time was good for his size.
Hit a
and-
1.74 split.
What else can you ask for?
Which is nuts.
He's the freak tackle, I would say, in this. And I feel like he made a case for being that top tackle taken.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think all of the tackles like had a good day. Broderick, Harrison, Freeland did well. Wright, Skronsky, Dewan Jones. Like I feel like a lot of the tackles
Dewan's a unit.
had good.
Yeah, he
combine.
is,
Dewan is a
Yeah,
unit.
he ran a
Bengals?
5.35 at 374 pounds.
Dewan to the Bengals.
And it was like a 1.92 10-yard split, right?
Yes.
Hey, I'm just saying. I said that 2 years ago when I first saw Dewan
Felt it
on the
TV.
field, and I just saw this like mountain of a human being on the football field at Ohio State. I said the Bengals need him, so we'll see.
6'8", 374.
We're not drafting Dewan Jones.
That- You wouldn't have the Bengals drafting a tackle at all.
Let's talk about it.
I
Who
I
do
don't
you,
think it's
Joel,
gonna be
who
a
do you
tight end.
project? Who do you project the Bengals will select with the 28th overall pick?
ooh, this is a tough question. I'd have to see like a
We'll do a
like a situation how this all plays out because
We'll do a mock
If-
draft like sometime in April, probably, right, Evan? Or no, we're gonna do it over spring break.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll do a mock.
Sometime in the near
Um,
future. We'll do a mock draft podcast.
I don't see. I know Zach, you love mocking Anton Harrison.
Okay, the only
To-
reason I
to
mock
them.
him there is because he's just the best available PFF tackle that I see, and I'm just taking a tackle in the first.
Okay,
one.
PFF is not that good.
I mean,
Like
if it's not Anton Harrison, I don't really care as long as it's a good.
they
tackle.
had Darnell Washington early before the combine in the third round.
I don't think he's going to go in the third round. I think he's going to go first or second.
Stop it.
I mean, I've seen a lot of mocks that have like Harrison and like Darnell Wright gone before the Bengals pick.
I mean, I would love for the Bengals to be able to get him in the second round, like Washington. I don't think he's going to fall that far, though.
After this combine, I don't even know if Falls was in the first round.
Yeah, which I mean is fine, I guess. I mean, it's like you guys said earlier, it's a deep tight end class, and if the Bengals can re-sign Hayden Hurst, like
I
get
don't
a
think we do.
tackle, like I don't know why we wouldn't.
I don't think they're going to re-sign Hurst. I know that Hurst wants to be there, but
I think realistically, I was reading something the other day. I think realistically, we go into the draft having already signed a tackle,
Yes.
and then
I would
we
be okay with that. Yeah, as
and
long
then
like, they need a
first
tackle.
round we draft tight end, defensive end, or like DB,
Corner.
and then we can address because I was reading it was like top 3 like tight like offensive tackles that the Bengals like should target, and he was
Mhm.
saying the Bengals would be in a much better situation if they already have like already have a tackle on roster, so that they don't have to like bank on the draft like one of them falling. So
Yeah.
I think that would be a good idea. And then if there's still one that we like, we can get him in like the second round. I think if that happens, I think we get a tight end and then probably like tackle, unless there's like a really good like DB.
Maybe the Tennessee tackle will fall to the second.
No,
I got a mock
I've
draft
seen him going
right
like
now to see, like,
16 or like 17. I don't
All
know.
right. Well, either way, they better draft the tackle in this draft.
Yeah. I could maybe get Freeland from BYU. He's pretty good.
Yep.
Or Cody Mock, the guy from South Dakota State.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
another one of those guys.
Or Steve Avila's a guard, All-American for TCU.
Yeah.
Who? Okay. If Nolan Smith is there at 28, I'm taking him.
100%.
Well, yeah. If he's
I'm
there.
taking Nolan Smith.
Are you doing a PFF draft right now?
Yeah. And
Who's on the board?
Nolan Smith went 2 picks before, but if Nolan Smith is making it clear down there, I'm taking Nolan Smith.
Okay, show us who's on the board. Let's see.
Zach's boy, Anton Harrison. Actually, I'm gonna make this pretty clear. Bijan Robinson. I'm taking Bijan.
Is he still there?
So we got where's it? Anton Harrison, Bijan, Will McDonald,
100% get
Josh Downs, DeJuan Jones,
We're taking
Mazi Smith,
second.
Bijan 100%.
Emmanuel Forbes. That's a corner I like. I like Emmanuel Forbes.
Where's he
Or
from?
Tyreek Stevenson. From
Where's Forbes
Miami.
from?
Forbes is from Mississippi State. Another Mississippi State corner that's pretty darn good.
I really want Bijan Robinson. I think he would our offense would be so good because he's
Yeah.
such a great pass blocker. Like I watched some film on him pass blocking, and I was.
Well, that's like a big issue.
I
Like,
know that's
running
something
back
that
pass blocking.
something that Mixon like cannot do. Is like Mixon is
He can't
not
do
good
it.
at pass blocking at all. So that's why they bring in.
That's
T-Row.
why he was barely in the game against Kansas City.
Exactly. And Bijan literally runs the same as Joe Mixon, but
He's
can
a block
pass
player.
better. I think that would be beautiful.
Ideal.
And then our offense would literally be Jamar, Burrow, T. Higgins, Boyd, and Bijan Robinson. That's one of the best offenses.
That
in the
would be
league.
just mean.
That would
Yeah.
be beautiful.
That's one of the best
Beautiful.
offenses.
I tell you,
Offense.
beautiful.
How-
Oh, I just did okay. Bijan got taken in this one. I just did another random one
Yeah.
to see like what. Cansey from Pittsburgh is there.
Oh, he's a D tackle, right?
Yeah.
Back just getting like pro comp to Aaron Donald.
Yes. Draft.
Do you want him, Weaver?
If
Aaron Donald?
Aaron Donald?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'd take Aaron Donald.
With this one, it has Michael Mayer, Cansey, BJ Ojolari, Emmanuel Forbes, Cam Smith. I like
Cam Smith,
South
I like him a
Carolina.
lot too for South Carolina.
I do. He's very good.
He's tall, right?
He is. Give me one. He is 6 foot, 188.
Okay, that's good size.
That's solid
Mhm.
height. But
Do you like Hodges Tomlinson from TCU?
Tre'Davious Hodges Tomlinson.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's good. I mean,
Yeah, I mean he won DB of the year, right?
yeah.
That's-
He's LaDainian Tomlinson's nephew.
he is.
He is.
He'd be more of a slot guy though. 'Cause he's 5'8".
Yeah. Yeah. He's more of a slot guy.
I don't really know if because we already have Mike Hilton. But I do like Cam Smith.
Cam Smith, Cansey. At this range, I'm leaning towards Cansey in this situation, probably.
That
Who do you
seems
think's,
Get the-
who do you think's the best corner, like outside of Christian Gonzalez? Do you think it's Witherspoon? Or
Witherspoon.
Joey Porter?
I'm going Witherspoon.
Witherspoon.
I think Witherspoon's more. I personally, I just like Witherspoon a lot more. I like the way his play style.
He
Very
didn't go
physical.
to the combine, right?
No, he did not. I think he's very physical at the point of attack. 6 foot 180. I mean, about the same as Cam Smith. So, yeah, I think I'd personally lean towards Witherspoon. Don't get me wrong, Joey Porter's good though too. This is a very good corner class.
It was good.
Deontay Banks too, Maryland.
Yeah, Weaver, that guy for Pitt.
yeah.
281 ran a 4.67 with a 1.610 split,
Jeez.
Yep.
which the last person to do that is Aaron Donald. at that position.
Wow.
Yep.
And he's from Pitt as well.
Zach, wow.
So it's
That's
like
impressive.
a very easy Aaron Donald comparison.
I just did a 2-round mock. I got Cansey and I got Laporta.
I like that.
I like
What
that.
position is Laporta?
Tight end
Tight end.
from
Oh.
Iowa. She's gonna be good. She's from Iowa. He's tight
That's
end.
true,
Iowa's
probably.
good.
Yeah,
Iowa's good.
Tight end.
Tight end.
Yeah. They produced George Kittle.
George Kittle,
And TJ
TJ Hawkinson, Noah Fant. Some good tight ends.
They have a tendency to breed out tight ends,
Tight ends.
just like
I mean-
offensive linemen.
Yeah. The rest of everyone else sucks because they were like one of the worst offenses in the league, but they have good tight ends.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They have good tight ends.
Okay, I feel like we can transition into something here. Quarterbacks. How are you ranking them?
In the draft.
For me,
I mean,
I
already
think
said
it's-
mine pretty much.
I think it's Young, Stroud, Richardson, and then Levis.
Okay.
I
Zach,
think. I already said mine pretty much when I did my Stroud segment. I would probably say Stroud, Young, Richardson, and Levis.
I agree.
But, I mean,
I think I'm gonna go-
Stroud and Young are like. I mean,
Interchange.
I have Bryce Young 1.
mhm.
Stroud's my 2. I think he's the most NFL ready.
Yeah.
Richardson I would say I think me and Evan have the same list here. I feel like teams are going to be very high on Levis though for some reason.
Yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on Levis? Because I
Why
feel like he's
are
kind of
teams
I feel like he's an interesting prospect.
He is he's a very interesting prospect. I feel like last year's tape doesn't help because he lost a lot of
Yeah.
his weapons.
He had no receivers.
He lost Wandale Robinson,
And that's pretty much it.
and he lost a good amount of his offensive line too. Because Luke Fortner played for him.
Mhm.
Fortner, Kennard.
Kennard.
Yeah. So he lost a lot of
They lost a lot.
I just don't understand, like, why are all these teams so high on Will Levis? Like,
It's because of his arm strength.
His arm strength and his build.
Yeah.
yeah, I guess.
He's like your prototypical pocket passer build at 6'4", 229.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
And he has an absolute cannon of an arm. And I think he threw
He
the
does.
hardest in the combine. It was like 55 or 56 or something like that. Miles per hour.
Yeah. So that's
But
fair,
I
guess.
just look at his, obviously I know his like last year's tape was a little bit like skewed, but like I'm a Kentucky fan, so like I've watched my fair share of Kentucky football and nothing that he did like wowed me.
Yeah.
I think he has an ability to turn the ball over a lot. Now is all of that his fault? No, but
I was about to say.
like he does have a tendency to turn the ball over a lot, which would for a pocket passer who just slings it is not the best thing. But I think
Not
if
at
you get him, I've seen him mocked at like 7 to the Raiders. I think that's a fine spot for
I'm
him.
okay with that.
But when people were saying
I'd
he
like
was
to see
gonna
the
go, like,
Colts straight up and take him first.
yeah, the only issue I had was on like first overall. I think if you take him first overall, you're making a big mistake. But if you get him at 7 or 8, I'm okay with that.
I'm
But
telling you, man, I want to see the Colts trade up to one and then take him because I want to
This
see
is just
what
for
Nick
Nick,
has
by
to
the way.
say.
Nick would
Just
lose his
just
mind.
because
for
I want to
Nick.
see what Nick says.
Nick would lose his mind.
Nick would absolutely lose his mind.
Like, in no way, shape, or form do I think the Colts would be smart in doing that. I only want it to happen because I want to see what Nick says.
Nick seems very okay with getting Anthony Richardson at 4. So,
I would.
Or any of
I
the
would
other
too.
3.
well, no, duh.
I mean, Anthony Richardson has the most
Significant
potential, I
weapon.
believe, out of all these.
Oh,
I
Joel,
I definitely agree with that.
I need to show you a like joke mock draft that I did. Or I think I did show you. I
Yeah.
did a mock
did, like-
draft with the Colts,
It's like terrible.
and I sent it to
Oh,
Nick.
didn't you take Stetson Bennett?
Yeah, I took Stetson Bennett in the 6th round, and other than that, I took offensive linemen and receivers.
I shouldn't. It
I mean, it was- I made it awful.
willing
on
to
purpose.
mentor any young quarterback that they draft in the 2023 draft.
Who said this?
Geno Smith. He said if they draft a quarterback in the draft, he'll mentor him.
Yeah,
Well,
I got
that's
Taylor.
perfect.
Does he know something we don't? Are they drafting quarterback?
That's what we were talking
Well,
about.
my thing is like you have that 20 pick. If a quarterback like maybe Will Levis or something falls a little bit,
Or I've seen some people not have him in the first round, but like second round. That McKee guy for Stanford. I've seen some people
Tanner
like him.
McKee.
Yeah, some people like him like late.
Well, that's like it's similar to what not really. I was about to say something similar to what like Davis Mills, but
Good Lord.
no, I'm not saying they're the same, but like Davis Mills had like little experience and went to the draft and he got drafted like 3rd round.
Yeah. Do you remember his rookie year when people were saying he was better than Mac Jones, though?
Why do we got to bring Mac Jones up again?
I'm just saying. Do you remember that? That was a thing.
Because they played him and they beat him.
Oh, gosh.
Jesus.
The Patriots should have selected Davis Mills.
What does Ryan have to say about that?
I don't think he heard it. That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, he didn't hear it.
It's probably a good thing.
But yeah, I did an awful draft for Nick.
Yeah, we like.
I've seen you also I've also seen you do some pretty interesting ones for the Bengals. So
Like what?
you took literally all offensive line one time.
No, I didn't. That was Evan. As a
Somebody-
joke.
Oh, that was you,
I
Evan?
took all.
Yeah, he
offensive
took an
linemen.
offensive
This is a
lineman in
really
every
good
round.
And you were like, actually,
I-
all those most of those guys are terrible. I was like, I know, I was just picking offensive tackles.
That is a joke.
Um,
I would not do that. However, I would take 1 or 2.
Well,
Or
that's
5.
better than what you did that's better than what you did last year, saying we needed to use like 5 of them on an offensive line.
One of them's got to hit.
One of them's
we
good.
used 1 on offensive line.
Speaking of offensive line, I feel like a big thing we're forgetting is Voorhees and how he tears his ACL and then reps out 38 reps of bench.
That
Glass.
is really impressive.
Glass eater.
That's the glass eater right there.
Definition of a glass eater right there.
I thought that happened to. That's like basically the same thing happened to David Ajobo last year.
Oh, David Ojabo? Yeah, he
Yeah,
tore his
like,
Achilles, right?
Like
Oh,
big leg injury, like during just like a shuttle run or
It
something.
was during his it was at their pro day.
That was his pro day. Yeah.
oh gosh, that's terrible.
He still went second
feel
round.
so bad. Yeah. To the Ravens, of course.
Yeah, he's good.
Yes.
I liked him a lot.
All right. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for this one. If you guys watched, thank you all, and hopefully you enjoyed. And we will have closer to draft season. We will come out with a mock draft podcast with probably the 3 of us, maybe Nick.
Kaiser
Just-
Mock 1.0.
Yeah, doing a mock. So I think that'll be a good one. So stay tuned for that next month roughly. And yeah, hope you have a good day, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace out.